Okay, so today's video is going to be about past life resonance and the way that our connections with others are seen and felt in our current life, and how to understand more clearly what's going on so we don't make some big mistakes. Now, sorry, my hair's wet. It works. It works. Now, I actually want to say too, I've had this video for a bit. I've had this video down as something to do for probably, I don't even know, maybe more than 6 months. But it's been on my list of, I'm afraid of how people will react. Because I'm sometimes I get afraid of how the haters will react, right? Or just how people will take it. So anyway, I've had this for a while recently, just a couple days ago, my husband told me something very kind and sweet. There are some small group of ladies, a handful of ladies who you could say we're kind of acquaintances with. We've helped out in some ways. Hopefully helped out. Tried to help out. And they said to him, a few compliments to me and kind words about my channel and my videos helping them. And I like, it just was so heartwarming. I was like, oh my goodness, somebody's getting benefit. Thank you. Like, it meant the world to me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this video for them. Why? Like, stop thinking about the haters. I'm going to do this video for them. So anyway, this is one I've had for a while, but thank you, ladies. Your compliment and your kindness to Jay, that you mentioned to Jay, really helped me just get this out. So I appreciate you guys. So, sorry, past life resonance and the way things affect us. So when, and I can't tell you, I have so many experiences in this myself, but also experiences from my husband and I have done a lot of distance energy healing sessions for people. And so we've seen like a lot of different things just in people, but also I've read the same things that I've learned and been shown. So things that God is teaching me, I've seen in books, other people's experiences, this lady's podcast, like so many people, like so many places where I'm speaking from for this, right? So anyway, I just have a lot of experience with past life stuff. It's not just experience, but it's God is teaching me and my husband and my family a lot of stuff about past lives. And here's one question I want to ask before I get in. If indeed you've been here before, if indeed you have lived a life on this earth before, do you not think that it could be important? Like, how could it not be important to learn about that life? Maybe you don't need all the details of everything, but if you've had many lives, let's just say, I don't know, 50 to 100, if you've had like 100 lives on this earth, how could it not be important to learn about? Like, because a lot of people would be like, past life, some weird side topic, or some weird belief that the Eastern, weird. But if you've been here before, how are you supposed to progress if you know nothing about yourself? Like your spirit, your talents, the things that you are today are comprised of who you've been So how can it not be important to learn about your own past lives? That doesn't mean you need to dig and find every single life and I need to know who I've been. No, it might not be that at all. But to pretend or ignore, like, no, I don't want to even look at that, right? How can you progress in your current life? That's one thing God has given me and my husband, like a really big view of. So anyway, one of the ways that past life resonances come into our lives is when we have had past lives with other people, we make connections with them. For example, think of your parents in past lives. Think of your siblings. Think of good friends, people you've loved. In those lives, you have made heart bonds, right? I've talked about these before, like golden, that they kind of look like these golden cords of light connected to people you love. Heart bonds are lovely, beautiful, wonderful. Well, if you've had someone you've been you've had multiple lives with that you love, and you have made multiple beautiful golden heart bonds of light, heart cords, you could call them. They're beautiful, they're beneficial, and they connect you with that person with love. Okay. The opposite side is the dark cords. They're called like gut cords. We've spent a lot of time cutting gut cords to help ourselves and others. These are dark cords connected when there's low emotions with another person, like whatever it is, low emotions, and they have low emotions, and you can create these yucky gut cords, and they actually keep you bonded in a bad way. So you actually have to cut those dark ones to free yourself from all sorts of situations where maybe they were abusive or you were abusive or whatever. But these heart bonds are wonderful. So now I want to talk about specifically how a lot of these show up in our lives. Because this is something I've seen and I've actually felt myself and witnessed, but not understood when I was younger, but also seen with a lot of other people. So when you are living your life and you run into somebody that you feel really connected to, okay, imagine meeting someone and you just hit it off. And now, sometimes this can be so wonderful, but here is where understanding comes in. Well, let's just say, for example, you meet someone and you're drawn to them, or, give an example. So a girl meets a boy, young man meets a young woman, they meet each other and boom, they have a chemistry. They just hit it off. Their first kiss is like magic under the stars. They completely fall in love with each other. And maybe it's not like overnight. Maybe it's over some time. But there is a clear magnetic pulling between these two. And they just are so in love, right? One, they're probably meant to be married in this life. They probably chose each other in before coming down, saying, I'll meet you, you meet me, we'll do this together. And so they probably chose that, right? And they probably have lots of heart bonds before. And so when there's kind of a chemistry, a heartburning, like oh my goodness, like it's more than just physical chemistry, because science will say, well, this is chemistry and your genetic code is very different from this genetic code, which is why your genes would like to mate with that person and make higher quality genetic babies, like that. I've read books on this. And I found it interesting, but now I see another side and I'm like, oh my goodness. So say these two, young in their 20s, whatever, and they just boom. It's like just drawn magnetic, so they get married and da 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 da. Well, that is wonderful. That is beautiful. And very often those relationships are meant to be. That often that is the person you chose to come into this life to get married and have children or whatever, to learn things together, okay? Well, now this is where it gets tricky. Imagine a married couple over here. This husband or woman meets somebody, so they're married. One of the spouses meets somebody else over here, and they get heartburning. They feel a magnetic draw, an attraction. They feel like it's a whole bunch of things, okay? A whole bunch of resonance. That's what I'm going to call it, because that's what it is. A bunch of really positive resonance. And they don't know why. They're like, I'm already married, right? And yet they cannot deny this resonance, this heart resonance. And it, like I say, it can show up as kind of a burning heart, or this is the tricky part. It gets misinterpreted and turned into, well, I'm experiencing butterflies. I think I'm falling in love. Okay? Like, I think I'm falling in love with this other person. Or because misinterpretation of the resonance, it can turn into, I'm feeling sexually attracted to that person. Okay? And so this married person who should be faithful to the person they married is feeling resonance with a different person. But because of, like I say, not being aware that they have many, many heart bonds of love with that other person. Say it's the girl at the office. That's a common one. No, or someone at the grocery store, your neighbor, whatever. So they don't know what's going on. So they start interpreting it as butterflies in the stomach and like they're feeling literal resonance, right? But without understanding, they turn it into, I'm falling in love with this person, and it's turning into like sexual love, right? I'm falling in love, which interprets into, I'm sexually attracted to you, instead of a greater understanding. So let's say this guy, girl at the office type of thing, this guy is feeling this for this girl, and this girl is feeling it too. Like, and he's faithful, so he's not going to cheat on his wife. It's not a movie. But so if he were to step back and understand, and I know a lot of people don't know, a lot of the Christian community and the Western society, they don't know about reincarnation. The East, they do. Over in India, and just even in some of the Oriental religions, there is an understanding of karma, of reincarnation, of this. But out in the West, especially the Christian West, there is there's not a foundation of reincarnation. It's like, which is funny because you can find all sorts of scriptures that literally speak it. Like in the Bible, I'm like, oh my goodness. God has seriously shown me like 5 different scriptures in our family study of the New Testament talking about reincarnation. I'm like, oh my goodness, my religion completely misinterpreted that. And I believed what my religious leaders told me because I didn't have a foundation. Not foundation. I had their foundation. I had to let go of that old foundation to have God teach me things that I could never have learned with that belief system. So anyway, it drives me nuts. I should have put it in a ponytail. I can't find my ponytail. But I usually let it dry flopped on the side because it makes it more volumey. My hair's kind of thin. I need thicker hair. Or I want thicker hair. So anyway, so let's say this man with this girl at the office. So he's married, right? He's got kids. He's faithful to his wife and his family. Let's say he gets, however, maybe he goes to a past life regression therapist. Maybe he's just shown things in dreams. Maybe he gets books on reincarnation, and so he starts opening up this pathway, and God can show him in dreams or even in waking. Like, you can be shown things in your waking life, kind of like a vision. I don't want to call it vision because people have that word's all triggery, like, oh, vision. Oh. No, but he can be shown things. So let's say he goes and starts to learn about however he's being shown and open to God, and God starts showing him, hey, this girl at the office, she was your mom in a past life. She loved you very much. You were her son, right? And maybe a second past life, you were her sibling. And maybe a third past life, you were her best friend. Like, you have multiple heart bonds with this girl at the office. And these are pure heart bonds of love, a Christ-like love, a pure love, not a take love that can often be the sexual love, is more of a lust in a lot of ways. But we're talking about, because heart bonds aren't made of lust. Those are the negative kinds. Like the negative trauma bonds, we'll talk about those in a sec. I've already talked about some of this in multiple videos, but this one I needed to bring up just because misunderstandings. So see, this man starts to understand that this lady, oh my goodness, she was my mom, she was my sibling, and she was my best friend. We helped each other out our whole lives long, right? Gaining that understanding, he can move and purify his feelings away from anything sexual. So he's not thinking, I'm falling in love with her. Oh my goodness, I'm falling out of love with my spouse. And like getting an understanding, maybe even seeing memories of when she was his mom type of thing. And being like, understanding that is huge, so he doesn't make the big mistake of thinking that this girl at the office is who he's meant to be with. Right? Now, I will say here, I have seen many different people get divorced and things turn out good for them and things turn out better. So I've seen handfuls of marriages that turned out better after a divorce. Marriages that turned out better. How do I say? People that turned out better after a divorce. So I am not here to slam staying in relationships that are harming you. Like, I'm not here to say there's no place for divorce. No. Everybody has a different life path. Everybody. Okay. And I've asked about people that I know personally where they signed up. They signed up to marry this person and bring children into the world, but some sad things happen. They end up divorcing. And it was sad at the time, but this person found is with a new spouse now, and they're very happy. And like, you just can't judge. But I will say that understanding the resonance can stop people from misunderstanding their feelings. Okay. So, when I was younger, I don't know how to tell this. When I was in my early 20s, there was a person that I felt this kind of resonance for, but I was married and had a couple kids. Okay. And, I felt a really strong resonance, and I didn't know how to interpret it because that person, was quite a bit younger than me. And it was really weird because I'm like, this is weird. I don't get what's going on. Why do I feel this when I see this person? And of course, I was completely faithful to my husband. But just this younger person, I would get like a burning heart when I talked to them. And I could see they were having conflict, because they were feeling things, like I could see it in their countenance. And obviously there was nothing. There was never anything. It was just random interactions. And never a seeking of interactions, But it was like, why do I feel like this? Now I look back, I'm like, oh, get it. Because I couldn't understand. I'm like, I'm happily married with children. Why would I feel this kind of, this burning heart, fluttery stomach for this person that I don't even know very well, you know? And is not even my age. No, but that's why it's important, because just experiencing this resonance with people can be so beautiful and wonderful. But taking it and misunderstanding it and taking it into incorrect thinking, incorrect thought loops, obsessing and turning it sexual, like I am attracted to you, instead of like a heart bond attraction, like, oh, wonderful. It turns into a, I'm sexually attracted to you. And then you get people having emotional affairs, having sexual affairs, people being confused. And the whole time they didn't know that they had lots of strong heart bonds with them. And it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. But just knowing about, I've been here before. Oops. I have something that is going on. Let me finish. Sorry, I had a drop down reminder. Anyway, so understanding that you can step back before you start to piece apart your interactions and your feelings and what's going on. Pull them apart and go through them with your mind. If your mind's not seeing clearly with certain things, you can't interpret it clearly at all. And like I say, this is where you get some seriously weird stuff. Just weird. I have heard about, and again, I'm not here to judge, because I mean, we all have our issues we're working with, but there are people out there using past life stuff to try to make it okay to be immoral. Okay? Morality, if you believe in Jesus Christ, morality is a standard. Okay? High morals, meaning you wouldn't go sleep with someone you're not married to. If you want to keep this kind of high moral standard, you would actually want to rise above all the addictions, desires of the flesh, like becoming like Christ. You would want to rise above lusting, right? You would want to rise above these things. So the more people use past life stuff to become immoral, and I'm like, I can't fathom it. I can't fathom it. Like, what? So you can go sleep around because, again, I'm not judging. That's I disagree with that. I'm just saying that here now. I fully disagree with that. Your morals should be getting higher. If you want to be more Christ-like, you've got to live like Christ, like Jesus lived on this earth. And you can study his life and see how completely moral he was. And I am one that does not believe he got married. A long time ago, there was a time where I thought it could be possible. I thought, oh, and it sounded nice, because in my old religion, it sounds nice. Oh, a little family unit. Oh, that's nice. It makes Jesus more personable. But so back then I thought, could be. I didn't know, but I thought could be. Now, having been kind of like shown this greater picture of Jesus and what he really did, he could never have gotten married. He wasn't here to have a normal life. His life was like a boom, like, I am changing the world. I am changing the cosmos. I am changing everything for humanity, for humankind. He didn't not just have time. He could not give in to any pleasures of the lower centers. Like, he overcame it all. He overcame all pleasure. Think of all the different ways we humans like to experience pleasure, and all these ways, Jesus overcame that all. There is no way in the world. This is only my beliefs at this time. And I believe very strongly he completely overcame any desires of his lower centers. There is no way he would be participating in making love to a wife. I'm sorry. He wouldn't have done that to her, and he couldn't have done that for his mission, what he came to do. Jesus was not a normal person. He didn't come and have a normal life to make us feel like we can relate to him. He came to do something massive. His entire life was focused on this massive effort of changing the planet. I actually very much agree. I feel so strongly. God has shown me a lot of what Rudolf Steiner talks about with Jesus taking on the Christ and it changing the world. That very much resonates with me at this time. It's like, oh my goodness. And I've had some own, sorry, get off that. Okay, we're good. So anyway, I wanted to talk, let's go back to resonance. So misunderstanding heart bonds. I think I've covered that enough. Pray for more guidance. If you run into somebody who you feel very strongly attracted to, but you are married, like you need to get a greater understanding of this. And you can pray to have any darkness cleared between you and that person. Let's go into trauma bonds. Because there are dark bonds where people are linked by trauma and dark things. And when you run in, so when this person runs into this person in that life, let's say, I think I talked about this in one of my videos, but I'm just going to cover it again real quick. Let's say this person had an abusive relationship with somebody. Maybe it was one of their parents or their siblings, somebody, maybe a neighbor, some sort of abusive relationship where they were treated horribly. Maybe they were abused severely. Okay, they have that life and dark bonds are created between that person. Okay, if someone abused you, like you literally have dark cords because the person getting abused is hating them and experiencing all sorts of horrid, being the victim. And then the abuser, oh man, they're creating serious karma and dark connections, trauma bonds to their victim. And so, and they're caught in their own lust, addictive, whatever it is. Maybe it's just like a bloodlust, like a beating, like to beat, or whatever it is. They die. They live out their lives. They die. And if they haven't resolved it, you can resolve things in life. That's what karma is. You resolve and heal and clear. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to heal all of this stuff, clear it out, bring it up, clear it out, heal it with Christ. Okay? Because a lot of people are like, oh, Christ came to fix all the sins. It's like, okay, but we help him. You have karma that you need to work on. You don't get off scot-free because, oh, grace, oh, shoo, good thing I don't have to clear my karma. No, not at all. We're here to help clear through Christ, because Christ is the being that clears it. But you have to do your part. Like we have to do our part in this. So anyway, these people come back, they meet each other again. Okay? And they feel a magnetic draw to each other. But it's not this. It doesn't feel good. Here is more what it would feel like. So a trauma bond with somebody would feel more in the lower centers, like a sexual lust, like a magnetic attraction, but not the sweet, warm heart one. It's more like a lower lusty attraction. Okay. And they're drawn together. Think a man and man and a woman drawn together by these lower bonds because they have trauma bonds. Like they still have these bonds, but There aren't really any of these kind, the good kind. They're the lower kind, but it's still a magnetic draw to each other. So imagine they get together, thinking that they are chemically attracted to each other because they're just kind of lust after each other. It's just different. It won't feel high and lovely. So anyway, so this is a trauma bond, and they may be brought together, and they may maybe they get married, right? And have kind of they get married. Sorry, I have all these thoughts going on right now. Whoosh. Okay, thoughts, you may go now. I just have all this thought. So imagine they get married and then they start to have issues. Like maybe he starts to be kind of abusive to her, or maybe she's verbally abusive to him. And they start to, the darkness of their attraction and their bond starts to reveal itself in ugly ways. Okay? Now, this doesn't mean they can't heal those bonds and stay married. This doesn't mean they can't go into deep healing and clearing and really learn to love each other in a higher way. But very often these trauma bonds bring them back together in trauma ways. So I shared this on one of my other YouTube channels, but there is a hypnotist guy, Bruce Goldstein. I can't remember. He's a past life regressionist, and he had a lady who literally, this is a rare case, right? And he's done, I don't even know, hundreds of patients through the years, hundreds and hundreds through the years. And he ran into a lady who literally had been murdered by a man 18 times. They had come back and they came back to heal, but they didn't get it. So they were magnetically drawn. Well, in this current life that this lady and this man were in, they were seriously drawn to each other. So she was married to another man and he was the neighbor. And she, imagine all the dark bonds. He murdered her in 18. Was it 18? 18 or 19? It wasn't 16. Anyway, 18. I'm pretty sure it was 18 past lives. And when they met each other, there was a seriously dark but strong trauma bond draw to each other. And I don't think they actually engaged in a physical relationship with each other, but she wanted to and he wanted to. And it was this strong, and he wasn't a very good man in that life anyway. He wasn't healthy and he wasn't a good, kind person, which makes sense. He has a lot of karma to help work through and clear. But anyway, so this lady went to this past life regressionist, discovered all of this. And all of this came up oh my goodness, because she wanted to know, why am I so attracted to my neighbor? I can't stop thinking about him, but I'm married. But I just really, think of all the stuff going on. And it was the trauma bonds. And she had to see those past lives, not all of them, but she needed that information, which she got from past life regression therapy. And she was able, through healing and past life regression therapy, to cut a ton of these bonds. But also, you don't have to. You can cut bonds in yourself, by saying, God, for her, I don't want to be attracted to my neighbor. I have a husband here. And clear any negative energy between me and this person. I keep feeling these feelings and thoughts, and evil entities love to mess with us. They just love to mess with us. And hang on, 110, we're good. They love to mess with us. And so they will take these trauma bonds and they will plant thoughts. They will plant all sorts of thoughts and images, and they will get you so, if you don't do something about it to really calm, center, bring in your light, speak to your angels, speak to God, and really get in a clear, calm, a peaceful state of light, they will get to you. They'll get you thinking all sorts of things. They want to mess with us. They want to destroy us. So it makes sense that they would see that and use that. So, anyway, trauma bonds. That's one to be aware of. So if you run into somebody, and like I say, it's probably not going to feel good. It's going to feel like maybe lust, or maybe even anger, or maybe different things, but you feel drawn to that person. Okay? A lot of times it's sexual is the way that it's used. Like you feel sexually drawn to that person, like lusting after them. And again, if you're not careful, all sorts of thoughts can be planted, like maybe if I, imagine the way they would get you thinking all these things and make you make some seriously huge mistakes, like cheating on your spouse and breaking apart your family and, no. So understanding resonance, past life resonance is important because we have been with a lot of people. That sounds really silly. If you've had lots of lives, you have known lots of people in each of those lives. I mean, maybe some of them you were very isolated and you only knew a handful of people. But the idea is that coming back here, we do run into people. We have known and loved, and we have the power to heal everything between us. So if you do have negative bonds between somebody, it is your job to work on those, to work on cutting those, cut the dark bonds, and healing all the trapped emotions and the negative resonance between that person, because we're here to love. We're here to serve. And that's part of healing. That's part of working on your karma, right? And if you don't even know you've been here before, how can you start to work on karma if you don't even believe? Like if you don't even, not just believe, but don't even know. How can you even start to believe if it's not even in your... But anyway, that's the main thing. Just, was there something else? Just understanding how we are bonded to people, both positive and a negative. We need to work on healing the negative. The positive are wonderful, but understanding that so you don't go and find someone who you are very deeply connected to from past lives. You don't misinterpret that and think, I'm supposed to be married to that person instead of this one. Because anyway, that's it. I want to keep going. I could keep going. I love talking, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, thank you.